So you're looking the title at top. It says business calculator underneath. It says simple interest notes. Okay. Now, this whole last quarter is going to be a lot about money and how to work with money. My best advice for you, if and when, or if you already are investing, don't take advice from just anybody. Okay? The best advice to get that I could give, and I'm nobody, but this advice was given to me a long time ago. Right now, you all have time on your side to start looking at retirement. And I kid you not, and I know some people are like, dude, that's so far off. I get you. But you have time on your side. I can tell you, I told you my parents filed both corporate and personal bankruptcy way back in '89. And so when they were 55, so 4 years older than me, that I am right now, they started to save towards retirement. Now, they hadn't started saving towards retirement prior to that because time wasn't on their side. They didn't allow interest to accumulate, and compound interest is huge. There are a lot of things to do as far as investing goes. You do what's best for you. You will always hear people's success stories. You don't hear the failures. And it's kind of like when you talk about, someone goes to Vegas, hey, I won $5,000 in Vegas this weekend. Oh, that's great. You go to Vegas quite often, right? Yeah. Well, how much have you lost over that time? Oh, I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay. So the 5,000 you made, that's great, but you still are gave them a lot more money than you collected back. It's pretty rare you have someone who goes to Vegas one time or gambles one time and hits it big. Now, it's very possible. I mean, you might have done your original first bet as a kid betting on certain games here or there, just with friends, and it felt good to win, and it stunk to lose. I can tell you my years living in the state of Nevada, I lived there for 9 years. I left more money in Nevada at the casinos than I took away from the casinos. Huh? I'll do what I can. I'll do what I can. All right, so S is equal to the future value. So they say that at the top of the notes. So the future value is what is at the end. What is at the end of an investment? Now, this is called simple interest for a reason. It's not quite as simple as this, but this is a good way to start thinking about how things multiply quickly. Okay? If I say, hey, if you put $10,000 in an account and after a year you had $10,100, is that a good investment? So you're like, no. And you have all been subjected to hearing about cryptocurrency. Some of you are invested in cryptocurrency, and some of you are making some money off of cryptocurrency. Is it always going to be there? My fear on cryptocurrency is this. We have this small little place. It's not even a state. It's a district. It's called the District of Columbia. And Washington wants to regulate it. Let's see. When the federal government gets involved, it's always better, right? All right. So the letter I, this is your initial investment. The letter P. initial investment. I'm going to skip P for a second. Rate. This is your percentage rate as a decimal. So if something was 15%, you would plug 0.15 in. T is time. And this is normally defaults to be years. Is there overnight success stories? Yes, absolutely. I like hearing about them. Unfortunately, it only happens sometimes to some people, not all people. Okay, so I'm not sure. I have to think about what this P has got to be. Potential value? Yeah, let's go with profit for now. We'll go profit, and we'll put a big question mark with that. So R&T terms must agree, both usually in years. Okay, so our first example, we have $8,000. Okay, and it's very possible once you graduate from high school that someone might give you some money. That's kind of cool. Some of you come from more money than others, and that's fine. Some of you are going, Stirrup, I'm kind of falling in the category you fell into where you paid for it on your own. That's fine as well. I mean, it's the gamut of life. Okay, so we have $8,000 vested at 2 years at an interest rate of 9%. Oops, 90%. Oh, that'd be an incredible interest rate. 9% is great as well, which falls along with 0.09. How much interest will be received at the end of the second year? Okay. So, you want to invest $8,000. You have 2 years that you want to keep it sitting there because you don't need to touch that money for 2 years. And you found an interest rate of 9%. Interest rate of 9% is fantastic. Okay? In fact, if you look at the overall long-term run of the New York Stock Exchange, stock market as a whole, it averages about 9% through the lifetime of it. So that's where time is on your side. Does the stock market go up? Yes. Does it go down? Yes. What's it doing today? I don't know. I have, anyone take a look at the market today? Yeah, nice week last week. Oh, by the way, is anyone's brackets busted on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Auburn.
Auburn, huh? I had Kentucky in the final. Yeah, that shouldn't have happened. Yeah, it looks like the Dow's down. Looks like Nasdaq's up slightly, and Standard & Poor's is up slightly. Futures are showing a positive notion, which is good. Okay. So my goal by the end of this class is to give you just enough information to pique your interest, not enough information to become self-made millionaires, but enough to think about it. I have friends in Arizona, and I love them dearly. They're my brothers, not really by blood, but by just knowing them forever. Some are investing like I am, and they're doing fine. Some are like, I've never put my money in the market. It's like, well, what are you doing saving for retirement? I haven't started saving yet. You guys realize I live in Connecticut, right? You live in Connecticut now? Those who aren't investing, yeah. Come find me. So it scares me a little bit that some people are relying on others. And so our very simple interest is an equation they call PERT. And we'll call this S equals PERT, where P is going to be our $8,000. E is the exponential on the calculator. Okay, and I'll show you where that's at. R is the percent as a decimal. And T is time in years. Okay, so how I go through a lot of decisions I make in life is give me my options and allow me to make my best judgment. Okay, so I look at what are the options available to me, what can I do to make it best for me. You'll come across when you get into a career type of job, you'll look at different insurance programs they have for medical insurance. I always choose the highest deductible, so I can use something called a health savings account, which I save money in a health savings account. And then if I have to go have something done medically to pay my deductible, I will use the money that's in my health savings account. Health savings account is something that we'll talk about a little bit later, but the greatest thing about the health savings account is it's triple protected. Okay? Meaning, if you put a certain amount of money in, that lowers your taxable income, which is good. That means you pay less in taxes. Okay, that's the first thing that's the health savings account is good. Any interest that your health savings account makes is not taxable. And as you withdraw from your health savings account, up until you are 59 and a half years old, you have to use your health savings account on medical things. After you're 59 and a half, you can spend it on anything you want, and that money is not a taxable form of income. Okay, I've had a health savings account now for 15 years, and I always put the maximum into it. Okay, and a lot of people are like, oh, you shouldn't do that. You're going to lose that money. No, I put the money in. Whatever I don't use this year rolls over into next year. And I'll put the maximum that the federal government allows me to put in each year. That lowers. So if I made $100,000 a year, and let's say I put $5,000 in, that means I'm only taxed on the $95,000 if that was my only deduction. Okay, so it lowers your taxable income. And so health savings accounts are good. They're not the sole way to save for retirement. Yeah.
Can you put money into other people's health savings accounts?
Yes.
Okay, so if like I have a friend with his health savings account, and I put like the maximum amount of my money that I make into his account, and he's over like 59 and a half years old, can he give that money back to me?
Yes. But your friend would get the lower tax rate because they're filing your friend's taxes are under their thing. So even if you gave them money, and I think I might be wrong on this, for a long time, the maximum amount of money you could give to any individual that wasn't taxed was $10,000. It might be more than that now. I don't know. And I know that I had friends growing up. Actually, my best friend, Matt Owens, his grandmother was very wealthy. She lived to be 103, I think. I mean, what an incredible life. So every year from Matt being born until the day she died, she gave him $10,000. And so as an infant, you're not touching it. As going through regular school, probably not touching it. So think about from 0 to 18, talking $180,000 that his grandma gave him. That's pretty cool. So, yeah.
So if I like gave somebody $10,000 and then like a week later I gave them another $10,000,
it's per year.
It would be an untaxable salary, or would they?
They would have to pay tax on the second $10,000, unless you did it December 28th and then waited until January 1st. You could get away with that because it's calendar year.
If they got $10,000 donations from different people every week, do they lose taxes, or is it just $10,000?
Ooh, You let me know where you find that, because I want to be involved. I don't know where that's going to come to. I know that, no, I don't know the answer to that. I just know. So it's kind of cool. So let's figure out what this is going to give us. So I'm going to fill. So we're going to go 8,000, and then we have E, the exponential, which is on the calculator. I'll show you what that is. I'm going to use the 0.09, and we're going to do 2 years. So this portion here is an exponent. Okay? That's the raised power. The nice thing is the calculator will handle doing something like this pretty easily. So we said, hey, we have $8,000. And we're going to go to second ln, which is the e to the x. And we said 0.09 times 2. Okay? So your 8,000 initial investment after 2 years earned 9% is now worth $9,577 and rounded to the nearest penny, 74 cents. Okay? So how much did you actually make in this situation? 74 minus 8,000. So you made $1,577.74. Okay? Is that good? I guess after the second year, you're kind of happy that you got an extra $1,000 for just putting money someplace. You didn't have to really do anything. You let the account do what it does. Okay? Is that a great amount of money? I mean, what's roughly $1,600 is it good for? Did that match up with the rate of inflation? I don't know. I mean, we have tremendous inflation that's taken place. Y'all have filled up your cars lately, right? You're getting shocking value going, oh my gosh. I understand. I mean, the rich are getting richer. That's what's happening. Now, the rich getting richer, is that a bad idea? Well, the rich are getting richer. If you're playing the game appropriately, you should be making money as well. You're sitting there going, I'm not putting anything away because I don't trust the rich to get richer. Your money's not making anything. Yeah. So that's kind of a thing. I recall during the early 1990s when there was Desert Storm, Desert Shield, there was a lot of gasoline that was being pirated, and I'm not quite sure how it was working. I think we were basically stealing it from countries. I remember that I had gas prices as low as 72 cents a gallon. Kid you not. I had a big... Yeah, when I was a kid, you didn't worry. Someone gave you $5 for gas when it was... Yeah, I got the electric car now. No, I got a Nissan Leaf. I wanted, so I had the interest of going electric, but I didn't want to be $80,000 into a Tesla. So I was like, what? Because I would hate to have bought a Tesla going, I don't like this. No, I wanted to know if I like the electric cars or not. He does. And he showed me the feature he has where he can summons his car and his car will drive to where he's at in a parking lot. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And I've been riding with Wiggins where he's like, watch, it self-drives, and hits self-drive and takes it off and says, so what's going on? The car's driving. As long as he touches the steering wheel from time to time, it'll continue to self-drive. That's what they say. But who's they? Is it really science? That's the problem. So what did I see yesterday? Oh my gosh, one of my friends, they always send me all this, the guys from Arizona. They said that in order to make one battery for my electric car, you need like 10,000 pounds of raw materials to make one battery for my car. And I'm like, where are you getting this from?
Argentina, like I didn't know they measured like the factory like output carbon footprint was like not even like that significant, but you know it's like a internal combustion factory.
Yeah, well, here's my nice thing. I produce 130% of electricity through solar on my house. So when I plug in each and every night, my initial investment for my solar panels was $26,000. I make 130%. Excel will pay me back every quarter on what I've net metered back into the system. Solar City, who was bought by Tesla.
Oh, I have those.
So, and how did I get to 130% when Excel used to only allow 98%? I will tell you that the 3 years prior, our electric bill was really expensive because the air conditioner, the house was at 60 degrees in the summer. So when they look at it and say, oh, wow, you have really high electric bills, this is what we're going to do. And then we put it back to having
your excess electricity?
Huh?
You
Yeah.
like excess? You sell it?
I get paid back 25% of what Excel would charge my neighbor for electricity. So let's say 1 kilowatt was $1, I get 25 cents for each kilowatt. You know, if that was the rate.
You say you're on rate? You say you're on rate? Like how, like 25 cents a kilowatt? Do you choose that or?
No, I was just facetious. I don't know how much I just make 25%. That's what Excel's buyback policy is. So, and I've talked to a couple of the engineers that work for Excel. Excel's really kind of looking at, they realized if they had about 30% of all homes with it, they could probably shut down so many more of their power plants and then allow all of the homes to mass produce to go out to the rest of the homes. And of course, solar doesn't work at night because, you know, sunshine doesn't shine at night. My solar right now is not producing as well as it should be because it's snowing and it's cloudy. What's goofy to me is when COVID hit 2 years ago, I'm sitting in my dining room because that was my classroom, and I kept hearing this beep, 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 beep. Well, what the heck is that? Go outside, and my solar is producing 0, and the sun's high in the sky. My inverter went out. So I contacted Tesla, said, hey, something's going wrong. They said, yeah, we were just monitoring your system. We were just going to contact you. Sure you were. So they sent somebody out, and I was talking to the technician who was doing it, and he goes, there's a lot of inverters going out right now. And I was like, really? Why is that? I thought this was the most ironic thing, and I don't know if there's truth to this or not. But he said a lot of inverters were going out around the same time because there wasn't a lot of pollution in the air. So you think about this. So you're creating, quote unquote, green energy to eliminate pollution. But if you don't have enough pollution, your inverter will go out.
What does the inverter do? How does that rely on?
Makes everything else.
Yeah, the inverter basically takes direct. So the solar is a direct current, DC, and the electricity in your house is alternating current. So the inverter changes it from DC to turn it to alternating current, so it flows both ways.
How does that rely on greenhouse gas, like pollution?
Well, they just said that there was too much direct sunlight.
Why?
I know. I'm sitting there looking at the guy going, this doesn't make sense to me.
But those are not how solar works. I never trusted you.
Yeah, so. All right, let's look at the next example.
Are you sure this guy's
Yeah.
not just your like across the street, down the street?
There's a guy that said, we'll work for food. I say, hey, can you fix my inverter? All right, example 2 says, if $4,000 is borrowed for 39 weeks at an annual interest rate of 15%, how much interest is due at the end of 39 weeks? Ooh. All right, so is 39 weeks a year? No, so we have to realize that if I wanted to make 39 weeks a year, this is 39 50-seconds would be the fraction we could use. We could make it a decimal if we wanted, but the calculator should handle it. Let's figure out what 39 over 52 is real quick. 39 over 52. So 0.75. Okay. So that's 0.75 of a year. Okay. All right. So there was borrowing money. $4,000 was borrowed. 39 weeks. So we're talking about 0.75 of a year. And 15% interest. So we're going to make that 0.15. How much interest is due at the end of 39 weeks? Well, let's do the math. Same exact thing. So 4,000. Second E. And we said 0.75 and times 0.15. Whoa, that's, what did I do wrong?
You type in 15, not 4.5.
Oh, I love that. You guys are smart. Oh, I would be nowhere if you guys weren't here. So second, insert decimal. Oh, this is going to be a lot nicer because if that took place, that's highway robbery. All right, so you borrowed $4,000. If you borrowed $4,000, that means that the interest you would have paid on that money is $476.29 to the nearest penny. Okay? That, my friends, is pretty bad. I guess if you desperately needed something and you knew that you were coming on better times, it's worth to go with. But for $4,000, having for only 3/4 of a year, $476 that you have to pay extra back. I mean, that's basically your credit card working for you. That's not a good thing. Okay, compound interest, an investment which is paid into an account at regular intervals throughout the duration of investment. After the interest payment is made, that interest as well as the principal earns interest. Okay. So 2,000 invested for 3 years at 10% compounded annually. How much is the future value? How much does this differ from the simple interest? Why? Okay, so 3 years. So we can kind of just do the chart of this one. So we're taking we're doing $2,000, 3 years, 10%. How much is future? How does this differ from the simple interest? If 2,000 is invested for 3 years at 10%, this is going to be done the same way. What we could do is we could look at each year. Hang on, am I reading this right? Let me see if you guys are hearing this right. If 2,000 is invested for 3 years, does that sound like you're going 2,000 one year, 2,000 another year, and 2,000 another year? 2,000 at the start, and then after a year, are you putting another 2,000 in? Because if not, this is just going to be that. But let's just say
it's 2,000 years over the course of $2,000 over the course of 3 years.
If 2,000 invested for 3 years at 10% compounded annually, how much is the future value? How much does this differ from simple interest amount, and why? Okay, so I'm going to do this one of two ways. Let's use what we've been doing. .10 times 3. So let's do that math real quick. Let's see, 2,000. Second E to the 0.10 times 3. So this is saying 26.9971. 26.9971. Okay. I'm going to do something that's a little different than simple interest. There is a pretty good button on these calculators, and I'll bring some of these calculators in as we're using them more and more. Where is it at? It's under Apps, Finance, and the Tbm Solver. So, we're going to go 36 months, so that's compounded each month. Interest 10%. Oh, actually, with this one, I don't need to make that a decimal. Previous value So we're talking $2,000. We're not going to make any payments into this. It's compounded 12. C/Y is that. And I can come back to the future value. And it's going to be second. Enter, is that what it is? There we go. Nope, clear. And it's alpha solve. Okay, so now this comes to 2696.36, 2696.36, 2696.36. So this is actually more of where your thing would be. So you're about $3.40 off doing the future value. So the simple equation, the PERT equation, is a guesstimator. And when I say guesstimator, it's giving you a guesstimate of what it would be if you had that as an actual account. You're making just a little bit less. So you're in the ballpark, but making a little bit less. But that's just kind of the long haul of what money's doing. When it's compounding from time to time, it's great. So that should be enough to allow you, and I'll finish up the notes tomorrow, but I bet you can do the page that says finance 6.1. All of your phones should have a calculator on it. If you turn the phone sideways, perpendicular to being vertical, that should allow you to find the E button or the E to the X button on it. And I think you could try problems 1 through 4. Give me a good try on that. Okay?